And so may pride fall, may selfish gain be seen through. May pride fall. May all qualities of defense surrender into love. May pride fall. May selfish gain be seen through. May every move be in service, in surrender. May love's light shine. May there be the ability to see the light of love shining in everything. To recognize love in everything. May there be the ability to recognize love in everything. May there be the ability to recognize the shining essence of true nature in everything. May there be the ability to recognize the shining light of God in everything, the shining light that is divine truth in everything. May there be the courage, the humility to see that every single thing that is happening is an act of love and love alone, that every single thing that is happening is a flow of grace in some way, even when it cannot be seen. That we are habituated to see through filters. We are habituated to defend. We are habituated to not trust. The invitation of grace is to bring the power back. Bring the power back in recognition of where true power resides. That true power resides in love, as love. True power resides as the being. True power resides as the self that you are. Not someone that is empowered, even purer, even purer. Where there is no one, there is pure power. Where there is no one, there is pure surrender, pure love, pure and boundless compassion. And so may pride fall. May selfish gain be seen through. May there be the ability to recognize as the light of awareness when movement is coming from defense, when movement is coming from protection. There is nothing ever wrong. It is not that awareness sees it and moves into cycles of wrongness or guilt or shame. That too is just another way to protect. It is to be the all-encompassing brilliance of love that can shine its illuminating ability, its illuminating truth upon everything. And it is when love's illuminating ability can shine upon everything that the reflection, the ability to see that essence in everything, in every one. And then to be that shining emanation of love. It is not that love does not move in mysterious ways that can be fierce and wild on the surface, right? But it is to allow love to move unfiltered, unedited, as a flow of grace. Allow life to live its unconditioned naturalness. Allow that true momentum, that wild, wild momentum of life to live itself. To watch curiously to find out, what does the divine want here? To not know and to watch in this moment, this divine moment, what wants to happen, right? Let this moment birth itself with no filters. Let this moment birth itself completely unedited and uncontrolled. Let this moment in its fullness, in its purity, birth itself, and let it die again into nothingness in this moment. Let that surrender be perpetual. Let it birth itself. Let it appear as a glorious creation, and let it die into itself, into love in this moment, in this moment, in this moment. Do not carry any baggage with you. It gets heavy. It gets heavy carrying baggage. It gets heavy carrying the burden of past, right? It gets heavy. It weighs you down. It weighs you down with ideas there is a need to protect, that there is a need to be right, there is a need to defend and hold a position. But it is heavy, it is burdensome, and it is not what is longed for. We are not longing. The goal of the life is not, let me protect and defend myself so greatly that I am miserable and alone forever. No, of course not. We are longing for love, for connection, for true presence. And this is fulfilled in this moment. It's fulfilled in knowing the love that you are. Cannot try to fathom how the world is working and why it is working in the crazy, wild ways that it does. Cannot try to fathom it with the mind. Can only surrender to receive it. And when there is a surrender to receive it, the intelligence sorts it out and brings forward a clarity of seeing that is very different from mental interpretation and understanding. There is no control. There's no interpretation through a mind of me that's controlling and seeing it according to a position. True intelligence brings a clarity of recognizing this is all perfect, this is all right, and it doesn't feel comfortable. It feels like a roller coaster, and that's okay. Just to be on the roller coaster of love's ride, right? Be on the roller coaster. Do not try to get off. Do not try to get off. It's just to be so free and wild on that roller coaster, right? Be played in all of the ways that life is just living itself. There are so many layers that we have to keep wading through. We can come to deep, deep, clear seeings and landings. But what you can trust is that love will keep coming back for absolutely everything. Love will keep coming back for absolutely everything, because love's commitment is wholeness. Love's commitment is without condition. Love's commitment is to see this all the way through. And if you do not block love's aim, it will pierce right directly into the center of itself and free itself, right? It will burn everything to ashes. But the glory is in the nothingness, the seeming nothingness of the ashes is where love truly shines. Where there is no protection, where there is no defense, where pride has fallen and selfish gain has been seen through. Love truly shines, and love truly shines, and this is humility. There is no one that is humility or has humility. Humility shines all by itself. All of the ways that protection is being held onto. Protection itself is innocent. So we meet the innocence of protection. We meet the innocence of all of the ways that protection plays out. The whole play of separation is protection. It has been learned. And the invitation of love again and again is to just see that it has been learned. It is not about unlearning it even. It is about seeing that that which has been learned is a layer. And it is just to take off that layer and find out who you are underneath the layer of protection. Find out who you are before you learned to be someone. Before you learn that this is the way. It's like to press the rewind button, the fast rewind button, the one that takes you right to the beginning immediately, right? You know, you don't have to press the button that takes you through the whole visual landscape. You just press that button that takes you right back to the beginning. And here you are. And what are you? Who are you with no defense? Who are you with no protection? Who are you without a story? Who are you with no intentions, no goals, no aims? Who are you where you have laid down the burden of holding position, where you have laid down the story of the life, where you have laid down past, where you have laid down ideas of a future for me, and you have laid it all down. You have laid it all down at the feet of life, at the feet of love, at the feet of God, at the altar of now, and you have laid it all down. Who are you? Who are you in truth? Just to feel how beautiful you are, how pure you are, how innocent you are, how empty you are. To feel the light that you are, the love that you are. Cannot be imagined how beautiful. Cannot be imagined how bright, how brilliant, how radiant is the true heart that you are right now. May the prayer be that everything that keeps you from this truth can fall away right now, can fall away right now into the dust, into the ashes where love shines. The humbling goes on and on and on. And it is the most profound grace. It is the most profound nourishment to be humbled again and again and again. It is to know, what are we being humbled into? We are being humbled into one big squishy ball of love, right? All of these little separate balls of putty, right? We're being melded together, squashed together. You see? So the one that wants to protect and keep it all over here and keep that one over there. The one that wants to hold a position, the one that wants to be right, it will keep itself defended, and it will have this longing to be squished together into the remembering of oneness, to be squished together, right? What is keeping us from knowing this oneness? To let any sense of individuality be squished into oneness. To know that that is what is truly longed for. Is to fall into yourself, to fall into love, to let go of falling in love with this and that and the other, to fall into love, just to fall into love. You do not need to know how. You cannot know how. There are no instructions. But as these words come, there is a resonance that they carry. The resonance that they carry has got nothing to do with the meaning. If you wrote it all down and tried to learn it and understand it with the mind, it would take you nowhere. But if you receive the resonance, if you recognize and you allow the pride to be stripped, you allow fear to be squashed by love, you allow selfish gain to be humbled in to the nowness. If you allow the magic of presence to remove all the veiling, you can feel yourself more clearly now. You can feel more clearly who you are. Can feel that here in this truth there is no conflict, that there is no man with a mission. But love has a mission. And love's mission is the supreme mission. Love's mission is to gather all the pieces of itself and bring them to the light of wholeness. So be a true missionary, let's say. Let's catch on. Let's catch the coattails of love. Catch the coattails of love, flowing, flowing, flowing. A true missionary, catching the grace of the true mission, being a river flowing into the ocean. Catch the true momentum. Do not let any kind of individual momentum flow against the river of grace. Catch the true momentum, and then true power is what is moving everything. True love is what is moving everything. And what you can know is that true love, it will humble everything in perfect divine timing. It's weaving its magic in its own mysterious ways. You can trust love. You can trust love to do a full job. You can trust love will not leave anything out. You can trust love is thorough to the extreme. You can trust love will weed out every single thread, not out of any kind of unkindness, but love will weed out every single thread out of the purity and fierceness of true love and compassion, every single thread will be weeded out and brought into the oneness, right? Weeding out the garden of individuality, weeding out all of the defenses, all of the protections, all of the threads of karma, whether they are karmic energies that seem to be personal or whether they are karmic energies that are moving as archetypal patterns of consciousness. Love is moving everything. Love is bringing everything to wholeness. And so to be the true missionary, the true mission of love is to keep flowing, keep flowing, keep flowing. In this moment now, appearing as the perfect creation, and then dying into itself, and then appearing now as the perfect creation, and immediately dying into itself. Do not carry anything from moment to moment. Be so timeless and present that this moment is ever fresh. Be the timeless being. This moment is fresh. Do not bring a past. Do not bring a position. Do not bring the stories. Do not bring stories even of intentions that seem heroic. Do not bring any story to this moment, and be a true missionary of love. Be the true movement of love. Be the true power of love. Be the flow of grace. Be the flow of life that is living itself right here now. Right here now. There is such a power to feeling your own being. There is such a power to feeling the depth of surrender where humility is shining. Let's say true humility. It's like it straightens your spine of humanness. It straightens you up because the flow of power, you cannot help but stand to attention in your humanness. You are standing to attention in your humanness because you are a vehicle of divine service. You are standing to attention to be moved by love. You are standing to attention in utter alignment to be a true missionary. Right? You're not carrying doctrines and dogmas and stories and ideas. You're not carrying anything. You are so empty that you can stand fully to attention, right? It's like the flow of grace. It irons out all the kinks. And here you are, so present, so alert, right? So here now as the being. There's nothing else. You have no agenda. You have no intentions. There's nothing that is wanted or desired. You do not need to be right. You do not need to even play out the games of being wrong and not enough. You do not need to hold any kind of superior or inferior positions. All of that has gone in this moment. Pride falls. Selfish gain is seen through. And there is such a power that is coursing through the being as the being. And that power is truth. That power is love. And you are ready for anything, but you know nothing. You are ready for anything and everything, but you know nothing. You are not holding on. Can feel there is no conflict here. But you are ready. You are ready for whatever life brings forward, however life is flowing. Let's say the true karma yoga, true selfless service. You are ready for anything, whatever that carries you into. even if it carries you into some kind of battle, right? Just like is spoken in the Bhagavad Gita, right? Whatever life wants, selfless service is just to allow the flow of life to flow without trying to intercept it. So often we can feel with our deep intuitive nature what is true. But it can get mixed up with phenomena. So the invitation is for everything that is phenomenal to fall away, to let all the protective coatings, skins, and layers that we can get tangled in fall away, so that this flow can be true, so that the flow can be true. As a true missionary, you are a true warrior. True warrior. A warrior is one who is rooted in being, one who is rooted in love, one who is rooted in divine truth all the way through, and will stand true, let's say, in the humanness that is a divine expression, whatever life brings forward. We do not need the armor of protection. When we are armored, let's say, with love, as love, being love, it's the only protection that we need. We have immunity. We have immunity in the face of the world, true immunity, where there is no position. It's not this way or that way. It's truth. It's deeper. It's deeper than opinion, judgment, worldly ideas. It's deeper. It's before everything. And this is who you are. And it is to stand, let's say, in a true solidarity, right? Truly in the oneness. Truly in oneness. Do not get caught up in worldly stories that are always asking you to hold a position. As soon as you are holding a position, you are leaving this truth. There is something being held on to. And so may pride fall. When pride falls, humbling is here. And in truth, it is the flow of grace. It is divine nectar to receive the humbling. May selfish gain be seen through. May selfish gain be seen for what it is. May we have the ability to shine the light, to see where there is selfish gain playing, where there is someone wanting something for me, where movement is happening for a me. Selfish gain can play a game of being someone humble. It can be sticky. True humility is empty. True humility wants nothing. True humility has got nothing to do with anyone. Does not feel sticky. It feels clear. It feels like fresh air, right? It feels like standing on the top of a mountain. There's no one to feel it. It's just feeling it. It's like standing at the top of the mountain, seeing the whole view and feeling the freshness. That there's nothing in the field. The field is just pure humility. God is pure humility, where there's nothing in the field. There are no stories. There is nothing. Where there is stickiness, there is karma or archetypal energies playing. And it is not to get fooled by any of it. It is to come to the natural surrender of the being, the natural surrender of the being, where nothing needs to be worked out. Nothing needs to be worked out. We receive the charge, the stress of the nervous system. We receive any kind of resistance. We receive any kind of flows and ebbs in the field of consciousness. We receive it. We eat it. We eat it by receiving it, feeling it, meeting it. Chew it up. Chew it up. And use it as fuel for freedom. Do not let it be fuel that keeps you bound. Do not let it trick you. Do not let it carry you into the stories of past and bind you. Use it as fuel for freedom. Whatever the surface play looks like, however unpalatable it seems, use it as fuel for freedom. Eat it up in receiving. Find a way to digest it, because that which is undigested will cause indigestion, right? In every way, in every way, what cannot be digested, it will keep repeating on you, right? It will keep burping itself up and creating another situation, another play, until it is digested. It's to recognize that the digesting of it is the receiving of grace. The receiving of grace, it's not about being pushed down and squashed. It's about meeting the true power, right? In that feeling of receiving it and not reacting can feel like being squashed, but it's to know that there's a surrender in the feeling of being squashed, where you're being squashed into, humbled into remembering your true nature. When you are resting in true nature, you can truly roar. You can truly roar as love. And then the flow of love may ask you to roar. It may ask you to roar in the flow of life. But you will feel the difference. You will feel like a discernment between reactive movement and true movement flowing. You will feel that. You will feel that. Cannot stop it. It's like the river flowing to the ocean. True momentum. True momentum. So when you are resting in true nature, you are being moved by true momentum. You can feel it. You can feel the power, the beauty, the grace. And you can feel that when you are not moved, when you are not moving from reactivity, when you are not moving from reactivity, you have a stable ground with which to receive whatever happens on the surface, in stillness, in silence, as love. Even if your movement creates ripples, you are still. You are still. You are resting in the knowing truth of who you are. The greatest offering of grace is to allow the humbling to happen, to find a way to digest that which feels unpalatable and indigestible. Because if it cannot be digested, it will find ways, right? We know this mechanism on the surface of life. It finds ways. That which is not digested, it creates toxins. And those toxins find a way to come to the surface. Through the play of body, they appear as signs and symptoms and disease, right? All of that is that which has not been able to be digested in the life, right? The offering of grace is an invitation to digest it now, right? Because when it hasn't been digested, one, it presents as symptoms in the body. It presents somehow its toxic nature, its accumulated toxic nature, right? It presents itself. So how do we digest it? So we're not speaking here about ways that we can allow the body to be an effective tool and what we need to eat in order to keep that pure system clear and free and shining. We're speaking here about how do we use the play of life and that which feels unpalatable and indigestible? How do we digest repeating storylines? How do we digest that? We meet the feelings in the nervous system that are being stored, that have been stored and that are coming forward. We meet the stresses. We meet the stresses as they arise, and as we meet them, we feel the feelings and we release that which has been stored like toxic waste. That which has been stored as toxic waste, it is contributing to the demise of body, right? So the more that we meet that which feels that we can't digest it, the more that we meet it. So through the nervous system, we can transmute it. And we start to have this possibility of completing cycles of karma that have repeated and repeated and repeated. So we digest it by being just fully present with it. We digest it by just holding it in love, letting the feelings move through. Coming to the true nature that is not body, that is not mind, that is story. And we allow everything that causes a distraction through protection to start to melt its protective nature. We let it melt. We digest it through presence. We digest it through surrender. We digest it into the presence of being. We refine everything into wholeness. We do not have to go seeking anything out. We do not have to excavate. It is not a mental operation. It's in the fresh moment. It's always in the fresh moment. It's only ever about what is here. And if what is here is jubilant celebration, do not be distracting away from jubilant celebration to be trying to analyze the finer details of your childhood, right? That's a mental distraction. Do not be pulled by mental distraction. Be here in the moment. If there's nothing here that feels indigestible, then just be in celebration. Just be in jubilant celebration. But if there's something here that feels undigested, open to receive it. Open as the presence, as the love, to receive it. The divine can bear it all. The divine heart can receive everything. The divine heart can receive even that which feels toxic to the mind, right? There's so much toxicity in the play of the world often. And that we could say that which is toxic, it's like accumulated, undigested material, right? On every level. But it's waste. It's waste. We have to find ways of removing that waste, purifying, transforming, and allowing the whole mechanism to be more smooth, more illuminated, more brilliant. So wherever and however you are receiving these words, let there be an illumination. Let there be an illumination of how the mechanism of consciousness is working on micro and macro levels simultaneously. The same cycle is playing itself out in and as everything. We cannot come to the point where the body will last to get to forever, but we can know the eternal, immortal nature while there is still a body. We can know the eternal, immortal nature, and we can live in smoothness. We can live in smoothness, and we can know, yes, at some point the machine that we call body, the apparatus, it will expire. It will either expire burdened by undigested toxins, and then what has not been digested and is held as seeds of karma will be carried into a new body, right? Otherwise, we just do our best, right? Let's be honest. We just do our best. We're not trying to create high goals here. We're just talking about doing the best in any moment, being a true missionary, being the flow of love to the greatest possibility that we are able. There's something so profound in the resonance of just doing the best that we can, right? It resonates on the level of our humanness, and it reverberates in the depths of our divinity. Because when this is the commitment, there's a willingness. There's a willingness to be humble. There's a willingness to be in service, whichever way this life is asking. Knowing that even when we fall into the depths of intelligence, we know in the depths of intelligence that everything is perfect, and we have access to this intelligence that reveals the mechanics. But at the same time, it remains a complete and utter mystery. How marvelous. We never really know. We never really know. We're never ever holding a position. Even when there's clarity, divinity, and an ability to see, we still don't know. We still know nothing. We never get there. We never grasp it. How marvelous to be constantly humbled again and again and again. To let humbling be ever fresh. To feel the innocence of this moment, the newness, the freshness, and just to meet it as it is, and to let the humble intention be that if there is anything here undigested, may it be digested and refined into the being. May it be swallowed all the way, however bitter the pill is. May it be swallowed all the way as an offering from the divine. There are subtleties here. There are subtleties here where it is so unfathomable. How do we swallow the bitter pills of life? How do we keep receiving the grace? And how does true action happen? Because the mind, even in its subtleties of reactivity, wants to act and make things right, right? It's such a deep-rooted feeling within our humanness to make it right, to kind of conquer darkness, right? There's a truth in that. There's a truth in that because it is our service to bring the light to the surface. But we can only bring the light to the surface when we truly are the light, right? We have to be the open channel, let's say, that light is coming through. So here there is a quality of trust, a quality of trust. And the trust is in true movement. The trust is in love. The trust is in yourself. And the trust in the self, in the being and in the true movement is that we will also be moved in ways that where we will stumble and fall by our movement, right? We will trip over our own movements, even when we are doing our best, right? But there's the grace of deeper humbling. And there's the grace of even where true movement, when we trip in true movement, we trip over our own truest, clearest movement that we feel. But we can be humbled by that. And then the humbling brings a quality of recognition, accountability, a recognizing, oh, deeper humbling. I thought there was clear seeing, but now there's even clearer seeing. And in that, a willingness to recognize. Let pride fall. Let pride fall again and again. Let pride fall again and again. And as pride falls again and again and again, the layers are washed away. And what is here is more love, more light. Not because love is growing, not because light is growing, but because that which obscures the light and the love is falling away. We are designed to never arrive. Even if we are resting in the most profound truth, we never arrive. We never get it. We never ever can hold a position. The whole essence of true nature is that it is utterly positionless. And it is the flow of life living itself, and it is a constant surprise to itself. What grace, what glory. We never know what is going to come in. We never know how it's going to play. We can only do the best. Can only resolve to keep falling in, keep falling in, keep falling in. We can only rest, let's say, in a willingness to be constantly humbled, a willingness to keep surrendering in, to keep seeing more clearly, and to never ever hold a position. Any sense of recognition, even to surrender that in, to surrender that in, to surrender that in. To keep humbling it in, to keep giving it back to God, keep giving it back to God, keep giving it back to love, keep giving it back, just keep giving it back. And as you give it back and you give it back and you give it back and you give it back, it gets given back. It gets big given back. It gets given back. And it fills you. It fills you. It fills you. It fills you. But it doesn't inflate you, right? It fills you. It fills you with grace. It is the flow of life living itself. And as that flow surrenders itself again and again and again, gives itself back to love. No, this, I'm giving it back to you. No, to you, to you. I love you. No, I love you. I love you. No, I love you. I love you. No, I love you. No, I love you. No, I love you. No, I love you. Right? It perpetually flows. It perpetually flows. And the same with the gratitude, right? Thank you. Thank you. No, thank you. Thank you. No, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. No, thank you. Right? That gratitude, that divine gratitude that is constantly flowing, 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 constantly humbling to itself until there is no other. It's just a flow. It's just a flow. You cannot tell who is speaking, who is moving, who is, who is, who is. There's no way of knowing. Just to keep falling in, to keep falling in, handing it back, handing it back, handing it back. May this be humbled. May this be humbled. No, no. Let this be humbled. Let it be bigger. Let it be deeper. Let it be greater. Right? Until you don't know who you are, you don't know where it's coming from. You cannot tell. You cannot tell. But you can feel a sense of what you are. And what you are just keeps humbling into itself. It keeps loving itself. It keeps flowing in gratitude for itself. And the river keeps flowing. And the ocean, it is an ocean of divine bliss. Just you feel the resonance. There are no instructions. There's no way, because there is no one to get anything. It is just to remember who you are, to let pride fall, to see the futility of all attempts at selfish gain. It is to surrender again and again and again. See the cosmic joke. See the cosmic joke and be the cosmic one, ever surrendering into itself. Let love do its best. Let love do its worst. Just let love be love. Let love love itself without any interception. Yes, of course, we could say, even the interceptors are love. Yes, it's true. It is true. All of it is utter, utter innocence. But it is to recognize that it's never, ever to hold any position, ever. Just to keep humbling it in, surrendering it in, into the now, into the now, into being, into being, into just being. There's nothing to do. It's happening right now. It's doing itself through being itself. Mm. Mm. May love have its way. May love shine. As everything burns, it is just to keep offering the ashes. Keep offering the ashes. Mm. Mm.